Hello and welcome to another episode of The Most on Screen. In this episode we take a look at the new season 4 of Cobra Kai to analyze who takes the medal for the most stupid, annoying or badly written character. Who do you think fits that description the best? Comment down below. At the end of season 3, Daniel and Johnny plan to team up to defeat Kreese and Cobra Kai, as they made a deal: if they were to win this year's All Valley tournament, Cobra Kai has to go. The team up worked, well, as you would have expected. They can't seem to compromise and fall apart again, with Johnny founding Eagle Fang. For Miguel and the other students, there is also the prom this season, and the finale with the All Valley tournament ending kind of surprising. So after that short recap, let's take a look at the characters to find out which character was the most stupid, annoying or worst written. To start things off, we have Kenny, a new character introduced this season. Kenny started off as a loner, being the new kid in school and directly embarrassing himself in front of everyone of his new class on his first day. That and a small sport incident lead to him being bullied every day, especially by Anthony LaRusso, Daniel's son, and his friends. They don't just hurt him, but they keep embarrassing him in front of everyone from his class. When he has enough, he seeks help from his brother. That in general would be fine, however, it is not the best idea if your brother is in prison for assault. His brother sends him to Robbie and right into the arms of Cobra Kai. When he goes there, he should have realized there are mostly assholes as well. Should have been a red flag for him. Anyways, after a little bit of training, he joins Cobra Kai, which makes him turn into some kind of horror movie villain in just a few weeks. Man, I wonder what they were smoking when they wrote this scene. I think Rorschach would be proud of him. Now this part was the best.
Finally got you alone.
Seriously, this scene was so hilarious. Remember kids, don't say Kenny 5 times into the mirror. So after that and following the tournament, he basically finished his whole transformation into a full-blown villain by the end of the season. I have to say, this character and some others really made you wonder how hard it is to actually learn karate. Or maybe the guys of the other dojos just sucked at it, I don't know. Okay, next up, there's Daniel's son Anthony LaRusso. In previous seasons he had a really minor role, in this season it was a bit bigger. After he grew a bit and lost some weight, he found some new, let's call them friends. Anyways, they keep pushing him to bully Kenny and to fight him. Well, the dumb thing here, get new friends man, these guys are a-holes. And they just make fun of you as well. Especially this kid man, come on, I'm sure you can do better than that. After getting friend-zoned, things get even worse. However, after Kenny the Killer lets loose, everything escalates as we saw before. In the meantime, while his father wants to get him interested in karate, he seems way too lazy and talks about how he doesn't have a connection to Mr. Miyagi as everyone else. Well, considering the age of his sister, I doubt she remembers too much as well. Anyways, if your dad is a pro trainer, use the opportunity, no excuses here. So, after he gets punished and has a little talk with Daniel, he eventually comes around and realizes his mistakes. It really showed character that he went to Kenny after his loss to apologize. Good for you guy, I'm sure he will appreciate, never mind. Well, he should have really learned some karate, then he would have known a really important concept.
You should really be familiar with. It's what the Japanese call unagi.
The next character on the list is Tori. Let's take a look at her. So, Tori still remembers her last fight with Sam and is training hard for the upcoming tournament. What is bad about that, or her in general, you ask? Well, the bad thing about her, as in all previous seasons, is basically that she's just a complete hothead. She gets mad at anyone and anything without thinking of possible consequences. In this season, she actually loses her job at least once due to it, which is her job as a waitress in a restaurant, where she gets mad at Sam's mom. This is the first job she loses, even though I guess she lost the second one as well after storming out in the end. While I can't really blame her for the second one, she still needs to keep her emotions in check. As we learned already before, she's the only one there for her brother and wants to get custody for him. At first, even when people are nice to her, she pushes them away. However, as some of the others, she seems to come around a bit towards the end of the season. At first, at the party, she doesn't let herself get provoked by Sam. Well, at least in the beginning. And actually, she just wants to enjoy the evening. And also in the tournament, we can see her not wanting to fight dirty and actually being sorry after hitting Sam unintentionally. Even going so far as wanting to check for her after winning. That was actually a quite nice change, not much bad to say about her this season. Robbie in this season is at first not a part of Cobra Kai and just scratching there. However, he comes around quite fast and actually serves as a secondary or later tertiary trainer. First he's not welcomed by the students, but after beating everyone, they realize they might need him. After that he becomes somewhat of a mentor figure to Kenny and actually tries to help him to get the bullies off his back. After Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang trick the Cobras to avoid a confrontation, he actually leads the assault on Hawk. That was actually funny because everyone behaved as if it was okay with the no fighting rule. Didn't look like that to me, but hey, what do I know, right? At the party, however, he is also quite calm, till the fight breaks out and he thinks Tori and Miguel are fighting. Though what I have to say about him and Miguel in this scene, break the fight off and don't just attack each other. Think first, attack second. But to be fair, they didn't really learn that properly. However, I liked that he actually tried to help Kenny when he got bullied and he wanted to take him on a good path, which we saw totally worked out fine. But anyway, yeah, so when he realized his mistakes, he actually regrets them and he voluntarily throws his final. He even goes back to his father Johnny to try and fix things, not wanting to blame him all his life for anything that happened. So all in all, even without having any proper parent figure in his life, similar to Tori, he made a quite positive impression this season. Sam has a bigger role than Miguel in this season, as there is also a new girls division in the tournament and there's a lot of rivalry again with her, let's call it nemesis, Tori. A first positive thing to note is that she and the others really tried to bring Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang together. Though her commitment and attitude towards Johnny at the start quite lacks, well, anything. Though while she doesn't want to comply at first, she actually realizes that Johnny's methods and ideas somewhat make sense. Well, at least in a crazy kind of way. That starts making her more rebellious against her father and in general she's more of an aggressor this season. A good example is in any scene with Tori. When she has her costume job, trying to make a living for her and her brother, Sam keeps trying to embarrass her, which in the end probably makes her lose the job. Not cool, dude. Not cool. And at the prom, well, first of all, I can say the same about Miguel. They keep staring at Tori and Robbie. God, enjoy your evening. That was so awkward to watch. And after making their evening miserable themselves, she's the first one to throw a punch after meeting Tori outside. Man, these LaRusso kids sure love to bully poorer loner kids. I wonder where they got that from. Oh yeah, right. Well, to be fair, Johnny was not a poor loner. Anyways, what was quite annoying for me is that she complains a lot. And I mean, a lot. Even when she's the one to start something, what does she do after things go bad? You got it.
What? Why are you taking her side? Is it the same reason you've been staring at her all night?
Yeah, anyway, the next one on the list is Miguel. Miguel has recovered from his back injury and is finally back in training for the tournament. I felt like he was not as present this season as in the ones before. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. This season is a lot about his relationship to Sam, Johnny and Daniel. At a dinner, his family is curious about how things are going with Sam. Whoa, slow down there, horny grandma. It gets even more awkward shortly after, when he discovers Johnny is hooking up with his mom, but he actually handles it quite well. However, after Johnny starts treating him differently, he doesn't take that so lightly. At the same time, he starts getting closer to Daniel and actually enjoys the training with Miyagi-Do. You can see he takes Daniel's lessons and the promise to not start a fight with Cobra Kai serious and tries to escalate things differently. Well, we've seen how that worked out. He should have definitely realized that Cobra Kai will find a way for revenge. Why is everyone so eager to fight each other anyways? Man. So after that there's the situation at the prom that was really awkward. What I said about Sam goes for him as well. Stop staring, seriously. The fight that ensues after is not so much his fault. He tried to break it off, but yeah, he got carried away as the others did. After that, he goes to Johnny in a kinda heartbreaking moment where he basically tells him he's somewhat of a stepdad for him. However, Johnny is so drunk that he thinks he's talking to his son, which kinda breaks Miguel. After that, the relationship seems a bit disturbed and Miguel, after hurting himself in the semi-final, actually quits and leaves to go find his real dad. I'm really curious what we get to see about that in the next season. What do you think, guys? Comment down below again. With this, we come to the big baddie, Kreese. Well, where do we start with this guy? End of the last season, Kreese, after trying to murder them, made a pact with Johnny and Daniel that the one who loses the next tournament has to stop teaching karate. So, you know, the next best thing after murder, I guess? With that, he starts this season by recruiting Robbie and his old pal Terry Silver. You know, the guy from Karate Kid 3 that made Daniel join Cobra Kai and wanted to kill him as well. You know, getting the band back together. The scene with Kreese trying to recruit Terry was actually pretty funny.
I had no idea you had a karate phase.
Karate is not a phase. It's a way of life.
Man, I love how everyone is so serious about karate in this series. After getting Terry back into Cobra Kai, he seems to lose control to him, but after giving Terry back some good old Vietnam PTSD, he's back on track as the main Cobra. One redeeming thing about Kreese this season, he seems to actually care about the students, well, at least some of them, and seems to realize and regret some of his past mistakes, well, especially with Johnny. Also, while that might be obvious to most, PTSD is a real issue, so he has at least some kind of excuse for his behavior. And in the end, he kind of gets what he deserves, though I'm curious as well how it will play out. The next big baddie on the list, Terry Silver, started out quite fine like this and somehow ended up like this. Man, karate is one hell of a drug. So he starts out as a kind of a smooth, rich business guy who left everything behind him to turn his life around. Good for him. After Kreese comes back to recruit him, the spark is ignited again and he can't seem to hold it any longer. Man, things would have been so different if he would have just gone like this.
What do you say?
I say no.
But well, it didn't, so we have to continue with our second big bad guy. So, after coming back from the dead, he takes control at Cobra Kai and at first seems to be quite reasonable, not wanting to commit the same mistakes of the past. While at first things go quite well, Kreese does not like the way Terry behaves and talks about him in front of his students, rewarding him with some Vietnam PTSD flashbacks and reminding him who is in command. After that, well, we saw what happened then. He basically starts his mental decline, even going so far as to lure Johnny into a trap to beat him up. Man, I would really want that money back on that therapy.
Built myself back up. Got my ass into therapy. Found clarity.
You sure, bro? Anyways, after Kreese doesn't appreciate his ideas and starts to show a softer side, Terry even frames him for attempted murder. The next character is Daniel LaRusso, the main character of the old Karate Kid movies. Daniel is Johnny's old rival, and in this season they become somewhat best frenemies. As they started joining forces in the previous season, you can see them start the season together at Miyagi-Do. While the idea in general is great, the execution, well, not so much. As we could see through the previous seasons as well as in this one, they are really different when it comes to their approach on karate and life in general. Daniel is much more reserved and laid back, trying to avoid conflicts. While he's a good trainer, his biggest problem is that he seems to think he knows what is right and good for everyone. His way is the only way. That leads to most of the problems with Johnny, making their alliance short-lived. At least he's a reasonable guy, trying to solve things by talking about it. And it's a karate fight. God damn it. Isn't there anyone in this series who prefers talking to fighting? Well, I guess not. While he looks down on Johnny, he's got to admit that he actually enjoyed Johnny's training. Additional to his flaws regarding Johnny and his look on karate, he also definitely neglected his youngest son. Well, no interest in karate, no interest in you, I guess. Though by the end of this season, he actually realizes some of his mistakes, trying to fix things with Johnny to defeat Cobra Kai once and for all. And it was actually a nice moment where he went up during the tournament to make the announcer call out Johnny's titles as well. Okay, so the last one on our list is Johnny Lawrence, the actual main character of the story and, according to some, the original Karate Kid.
When I watch The Karate Kid, I root for the Karate Kid, Johnny Lawrence.
There you go. So, compared to the first few seasons, he starts to have his things quite together at the beginning of this season. Even his rivalry with Daniel was put on hold by the common goal to defeat Cobra Kai. However, we saw how that went. With both teaching methods colliding, they agree on separate training. When Daniel starts to train Miguel and the two actually bond, Johnny gets quite jealous. So much so that their previously formed alliance is broken, which ends up in the fight we saw before. A battle that I guess every Karate Kid fan wanted to see from the beginning. While Daniel's fault is that he thinks he's always right, Johnny can't accept losing to Daniel and lives way too much in the past in general. Giving us that kick-ass training montage though. Applying for that mixtape. However, while he is not the smartest tool in the shed, he certainly cares about his students and wants them to grow strong and confident. Even Daniel's daughter Sam. His methods in recruiting new female students, however, yeah, work in progress, I'd say. Also in this season, he definitely does not do his best job with Miguel, trying to balance being his sensei and friend while also being his stepdad, in the same time trying to defeat Cobra Kai. That leads to Miguel leaving in the end. However, I also liked how he let his grudge against Daniel go after he reached out to him in the final to achieve the common goal to kick the Cobras out and help Sam win the final. Well, even though that did not really work out. So, after all of that, who took the crown for the most stupid or annoying character this season? So for me, that would be Daniel's daughter Sam. Okay, so hear me out. I know that some of the others were more crazy. However, to me she was the most annoying person in this season. She's one of the main reasons why things are so bad between the kids and also for Miguel's injury. And yes, I know it's the fault of a lot of people. Also, while I get she's resentful as Tori attacked her previously, she should realize how shitty Tori's life is compared to hers. Embarrassing her at her job and later attacking her at the party is really not cool. Also, she's just so whiny and unlikable. Everybody is against her in her opinion.
What? Why are you taking her side? Is it the same reason you've been staring at her all night?
I really just couldn't stand it. But hey, at least she won something, right? Okay, so that was it for this episode of The Most on Screen. What did you think? Who was the most stupid or annoying character for you? Is there anything you would like to see next? Comment down below. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and maybe even subscribe for new content if you did. I'd highly appreciate it. See you in the next episode. Have a great day.